Welcome back. Welcome back. Another episode of TBD the radio show. I think we up to episode 16 right now. You know what I'm saying? I am your host, 1/3 of TBD, James, aka Ralph's favorite, joined by my nearest and dearest, my brethren, B, 3 exclamation point, and of course, the Minister of Defense, aka Bullet, aka Speed and Bullet, aka Mr. North, my man, Mr. Black History Month himself.
Wait. Don't leave out, aka Mr. October.
Mr. October and Mr. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mr. Beautiful, yo.
Can't leave that out.
That was crazy, man. Listen, but we appreciate each and every one of y'all listening to us right now, because more importantly, you could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with us today, and we appreciate you. You know what I mean? Every Thursday at 6 o'clock, y'all on the Diz app. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least we on the dot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us still doing shit, but you know what I'm saying? All right, it works out. You know what I mean?
This might be my new favorite segment where we get to start the show and watch Reggie eat. I love it.
I wasn't going to break the wall, you know.
No. I'm breaking the wall. No.
But I mean, yeah, here's the thing. I do try to do everything I need to do prior to, right? And there are some times that I push it. Like I think last week or the week before, I pushed it. So I know I can't do nothing prior to. All right. And I get off of work at 5 anyway. So, I rush. Boston is legal. You know what I mean? And and I'm here. And we here. We in the building, baby. How y'all feeling, man?
I'm good. Real quick to piggyback off of that. I love it. Reggie, you can't have a hangry Potter. That's no good for anybody.
Listen, I get that. In my defense, I got off work. I was feeling woozy, like I needed to take a nap.
Wow.
And I realized I didn't really had too much food.
Yeah.
So I had to run and grab, Philly's own. I don't know if it's Philly's own, but some lamb and chicken over rice from
that's right.
I mean, from the
stand.
guy 20. Yeah. Because it was actually the quickest thing that I could get that I knew was ready, available. My man got the pot right there, like whatever you need.
Where he wash his hands at?
Listen, man. I don't even want to think about something like that. Now you about to make me
stop. I ask the question. Listen, I am a big fan of Stan Paul's hot sausages. I love when I come to the city downtown. I typically try to find a cart and I get cooked onion, sauerkraut, and mustard. Let me get that hot sausage, the beef John. Pause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the best. Listen, it's the best joint. I ain't gonna hold you. When I used to work down 18th and Lombard, I would park my car up by Gerard, catch the train down the rest of the way. Soon as you get off, it was a cart right there, right? That's why I used to get the breakfast sandwich: beef, bacon, egg, and cheese on the long roll, extra beef, bacon, fried hard. You know what I mean? That's my order. I need that extra beef, bacon, fried hard. But forget my
interesting kind of segue. I don't know if it was before you got to where we used to work at together. We used to actually have food trucks outside. Outside the hospital. And one administrator, I will not say that person's name, but they asked me to well, first they came up to me and was like, Reggie, what do you think about these food trucks out here? And I said, well, I mean, I eat from them. The food is pretty good. You want some suggestions on what you might want to order? So he said, nah. He said, do you think that they have the correct license to be out here? And I was like, well, I mean, I never really thought of that. He was like, well, you should check. First off,
First of all, I'm hungry. I don't
I'm
give
the,
a fuck.
I'm the security manager, right?
Right.
I tell some, look, that's outside of my scope, right? Check
You not Philadelphia police.
a license, right? To check a food truck's license. But also, even if I was to check it, I have no idea what I'm checking for. They can give me a blank piece of paper. Like, I don't even know what to even look for. I'm like, but the audacity of those type of people giving the instruction to me to kind of
Boy,
sick me on some brown people who was out there with their trucks, right? And the next thing you know, the trucks disappeared and they never came back.
Here's what's
So
funny about that. I'm always amazed because those kind of people always find a way. They invent new ways to mind other people's business. Like I don't think we're capable of even imagining the ways to mind other people's business in this way. But they just come up with something, and it's like, what?
that was
Why
that was
is this a
great.
concern of yours? Why are you concerned about the food truck man license? He can't make no money. He can't cook. He can't cook and get some dough. Damn. Anyway,
It's the entitlement and privilege inside of them that forces them to feel like, you know what? See that guy over there? The
right.
fuck is he doing over there? Right? Don't worry about the fuck I'm doing over here, bro. Worry about you over here, but whatever.
Yeah,
I
quick story.
mean,
I was watching, this is a while ago. I was watching something on TV and it was like a news story or whatever. And it was, whatever woman with her dog walking through a college's campus. It was somewhere like in the DC metropolitan area. And they told her, like, you can't walk your dog through here. Like, this is not, you can't do this. And her position was, you got to share the area with everyone. If not, you might got to move the school. It's like, wait a minute. You got to move the school instead of you just walking your dog somewhere else. It's insane.
that's wild.
Yeah, it's insane.
How's your
Anyway,
week, man? How's y'all week been, man?
go ahead, Reggie. Or you want me to go?
So I can go.
Go ahead.
Always have a story, right?
Yes.
This particular story comes from my my housing search or whatever, right? So I heard stories before of people who have gotten mortgages. They've went through this whole process, and the process has been very enlightening for me. If not, it has really kind of structured my life in the sense of like my finances, my credit score, um, the debt that I hold, all of those things. Very like super hyper focused on these things now, right? I'm in the final stages of it. So I'm about a week and a half away from closing. I guess it's email from the settlement folks or whatever. And they wanted me to send them a couple of documents or whatever, which I had no problems obviously sending them. However, one of the things that they asked me for was an explanation of something on my credit report that is in collections, right? So I did have something that's in collections. Now, they asked me, to kind of explain like what happened. And I've been dealing with these people for a little over a month and a half. But these particular folks, I don't really know, right? And these
Mhm.
particular folks are not our folks, right?
Right.
So she asked me, and I gave her an answer that I would have given some of our folks. And the answer I gave her was, I wasn't fucking paying that shit, right? Um,
Straight up.
Straight up. So she's like, well, I need you to kind of explain to me why. Now, the reason is it was from I had a car insurance, Liberty Mutual, maybe about 5 years ago on my motorcycle. I canceled
Liberty,
them.
liberty, liberty,
Yeah, yeah.
liberty.
Fuck them.
Limu Emu.
So I canceled them. However, they said I still had a balance. I did not have a balance, right? And I got confirmation from my agent that I didn't have a balance. He emailed me, said he doesn't know what's going on with the system. You shouldn't have a balance. I said, all right, I ain't paying it, right? Next thing you know, it pops up on my credit and collections. Now, what's kind of crazy about this story is because this thing has popped up on my credit and it's in collection, there's now some question about whether or not I am loan worthy because I have this collection on my account. Now, you may ask a general question like, how much is this that you didn't pay, Mr. White?
Right.
It is for $74.
I ain't paying the $5.
That was my attitude, right? It was $74, right? And I could be in jeopardy of not getting this loan for $74. I think it's kind of like a little like ridiculous. But that's actually kind of where I'm at right now. This is the information I was given today.
Oh, this is today.
And this is today that they told me this. Now, me being someone that I thought about this about maybe 4 weeks ago, that maybe I should pay this, right? So I did pay it. However, it's still showing up on my account
Right.
as in collections. So, they pretty much, want whatever kind of confirmation, which a lot of times can be kind of difficult to get it like really quickly from a collector. All of that is to say that, man, $70 it could stop me from getting a $300 and something $1,000 mortgage. $70. I hope it doesn't go that route. But if I have any kind of advice to anybody, pay the $5.
Pay the $5.
Pay the $5. It was principle based because I did not owe them. And I had documentation saying I had documentation from Liberty Mutual saying that I didn't owe them. So it kind of, so I stood on it. Like I said, I'm never paying this.
Right.
And it didn't affect my credit. My credit is in the high 7s. So I'm like, I'm never paying this. You're never getting this money from me. And unfortunately, they don't get you one way. They're gonna get you another way.
So wait, did you send the documentation saying that you didn't have to pay it to the broker?
Yes. So the broker never even mentioned it, which was a little odd. But I think it was because it was so kind of minor, and it doesn't affect my credit at all. Like my credit actually today went up 4 points. So it doesn't, and it's been on my credit for probably like about 4 or 5 years. So it hasn't really affected me. I actually disputed it. A couple years ago, I disputed it, and I gave whoever you send stuff to get disputed, and they didn't accept it. The loan officer, I think that because it's a different set of people that are kind of looking at my profile, that they probably have a different kind of standard. I think my original loan person, Christian, he probably looked at him and was like, "This is $70." I mean, it has no bearing on my ability to pay, a mortgage or even my credit worthiness. So it's kind of like odd, but those types of things, man. When you are really trying to really get in the mix with this American fabric that we live in. I mean, you gotta have everything has to be absolutely so.
All T's got to be crossed and all I's got to be dotted, right?
Facts. Well, listen, shout out to you, Reggie, for this process. And I really hope that it doesn't make a difference. It's such a small thing. So we ain't even going to claim that, bro.
and just to kind of put a button on this, the last thing I thought about was things like this historically have been barriers that they've created to keep Black people from owning homes. That the person who ultimately, there's a person that ultimately decides if you're worthy or not.
Right.
And I mean, everything that I have, everything I've done up to this point has checked every box. And this person has the ability to say no. And just imagine, 50 years ago, how many no's were given to Black people just because they're Black. I mean, it's something that really still goes on.
Yeah.
Still goes on.
Right.
But other than that, I did get called beautiful again. So
Oh,
that was
Shout
yeah, that
out
was
to you.
2 weeks in a row. Maybe I need to shout my barber out or something. I don't know, but
Fresh cuts get the butts.
yeah, it's Howard. CY cuts my hair. So
Oh, shout out to
I may
CY,
yeah,
man.
I may have to give him a tip.
Listen, I let him cut my beard one time. Dude, I wasn't with it.
But you got interesting kind of beard though.
no
You know what I
butts.
mean? Because you
Fresh cut, no butts.
Yeah, you got interesting beard though, man. Because you got the ultra chin strap going on. Know what
It's
I mean?
the long joint, just a straight
Yeah,
line
yeah,
all the way around. But you
the chin
gotta
strap.
straighten it and then you gotta cut it. You know what I'm saying? Because the sides, they don't grow, connect, but you got the soul patch and the mustache. You know what I'm saying? That's the
You're a true
icing
old
on the
head.
cake.
You're a true old head.
Soul patch. What else do you call it? I don't even know what other name to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Old head.
I told the Rican boy that cut my hair
Old
that.
head.
I was like, yo, it's the soul patch. He started laughing. He like, you want me to, yeah, sharpen that joint up too. You know what I mean? I don't got no goatee and nothing, so that's all I got. Get that.
Well, I got a beard story one day. I'll tell y'all. I got a million stories, man.
I see.
Stories.
I
Million
see.
stories.
Now I've been chilling this week. Daylight savings time has been cooking me this week. Jesus. I can't get it together. This hour that we lost, I don't know if it's because getting older or whatever, but this hour that we lost this week has particularly been whipping my ass a little bit. So I'm trying to figure it out. I saw a post today. Somebody said that this daylight savings time has melatonin in it, and I tried to like it twice because for sure it's been a little struggle. But other than that, it's cool. Like it's still we record and it's the time it is. It's still light outside, so I'm all for that.
Right. For y'all up north, that's a good thing. It means that it's gonna get closer to getting warm. I think y'all had like a 70-some degree day the other day.
We
You know what I mean?
did.
I
We
call
did.
that get sick weather. I see all up and down my timeline. Yeah, I'm trying to go outside. Yeah, we outside today. I know.
Yeah.
I remember them times. You know what I mean? Where I'm at, it's always like that
Right.
for
It's
the most
always
part.
70. It's always outside
It's
weather.
always sunny in Florida.
Yeah,
You know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah,
But you know where we at, man. Young people don't wear jackets, man.
Well,
So
yeah, I know.
they savages. They don't wear
They
jackets.
hoodies is they
They don't.
coats.
Yeah, they don't know what coats is. We used to, back in the day, the Carhartt, triple fat goose. Know what I
Fact.
mean, you
Starter
had to have a
jacket.
coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to have real coat. Sherlin, you getting some bread. Know what I
Mm.
mean, Sherlin.
I mean, I will say that
With the fringes.
trend that kind of like came not too long after we were in high school because there were kids in high school, boys that didn't wear jackets for the most part. They just wore their hoodies or whatever like that. It wasn't a whole bunch of them like how it is now, but it was a couple, especially the fat boys. Oh, can we say the F word? Can we still say fat? I thought I heard that was like a bad word now. You know what I
Probably if you're
mean?
Nah,
saying
you
it
just
towards a woman. Saying towards a woman, you can't.
Oh, not a fat Joan. All right, well, big back Joan. But the fat boys, they didn't really wear jackets. They just wore their shirts.
You trying you trying to say they was naturally insulated?
I didn't say that. But that's a great observation.
It is a different time though, because I remember, being back in high school, middle school, high school, whatever. The thing was, like, people would give you props for the kind of coach you had.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like, oh, you got a goose, whatever you had. It was like a thing. So you kind of wanted to have a fly coat. I remember one of my birthdays, I wanted this Lakers starter coat.
Cool.
And it was a coat. It was the coat joint, but it was the
Oh,
starter. Yeah, with the hood and everything. I got that. I got it. My sister
you
got it
got
for
it?
me. I
The
did get it
purple,
for my.
was it the purple joint?
It was black, but it had the Lakers
Oh,
and
okay.
yellow on the back.
Yeah.
It was like fly. And I got it, and then it was like I couldn't wait to go show off my coat. Like that's not a thing anymore. These kids don't. And it was
Yeah,
like October, my birthday October, so it wasn't even
Oh,
that
right,
cold. I was
right.
super
You
thirsty to wear
still,
this coat. Right. Like I'm wearing this
yeah.
coat. Like what are you talking about?
yeah, but like you said, B, I mean, Coats actually was a bit of a like a status symbol.
Yeah, it's like,
Like
oh,
if
you
you have
got
fly
it.
coat, oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
definitely.
crazy. Yeah, times are changing. Oh man, how we feeling this week about these topics, yo? I don't know where to start. I know where to start. I know where to
Well,
start.
hang on.
Go ahead.
I figure we just go ahead and start with the update on Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
As this story has progressed, a few details have surfaced in regards to it, and it's much like we thought people was telling, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have witnesses. They have 3 men in custody. The 3 men are apparently the ones that participated. They're the ones that did the punching because it was 2 groups. Caleb was a part of the second group, they said, but they lined him up. They punched him in the chest about 4 times each. And, you know, and subsequently, when they did it with Caleb, that's when he, fell, had the seizure, urinated on himself. Um, but some of the other details is that the day after he died, the police, they went to the warehouse. The warehouse is owned, well, leased, I'm sorry, by one of the guy's dads. Like the guy's dad, his business
Mm-hmm.
leases that property, right? And this guy, his name is Isaiah Smith, 28. He's the only one that has a lawyer right now. His lawyer made a statement. These the charges is not an admission of guilt, basically. They are just charges at this point, right? He is also the person caught on security cameras um with the car that takes Caleb to the hospital. And by his driver's license and license plate, they ran it back to him. So, still it's an unfortunate situation. The university has pretty much like put a cease to all activities for, I think it's Omega Sci-Fi is the fraternity. Um there is witnesses are saying that there is one particular gentleman, this guy McCrary is his last name, Caleb McCrary, ironically enough. He was the one that punched him 4 times in the chest. So I mean, it's a bad yawn, all the way across the board, unfortunately. And I think one of you guys brought it up that it is a crime like hazing because they passed that bill, the Max Groover Act, I think is what it was called. Um,
So
so
yeah, that was my question. What type of charges did you read? What type of potential charges they could face, and what could be some of the ramifications, like fines or? Yeah,
well, yeah.
I'm curious. Yeah.
So for the ones that aren't that that just participated, they could face up to fines and months in jail.
Hmm.
Um, I think if the other guy is convicted of the actual assault and death, he'll be charged with a homicide because of that bill that they because of what they passed, because another student in Louisiana had passed away as a result of hazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, prayers out to all involved. Very unfortunate situation. I'm sure that was, of course, not the intent, regardless of what they did. So prayers to all the families involved in that. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
nah,
awful.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the fact that in this day and age, these initiation rituals still have a violent component is
Yeah.
just it's just baffling me because being able to take a punch doesn't necessarily mean that you are any more or less man or more or less anything.
Right.
And it really doesn't even like make much sense in this day and age. And if anybody is listening or has college age children or family members to just kind of be aware of that type of environment. Because we take for granted how precious life is and how easy it is for you to have a medical emergency just like that. And yeah, however, I mean, I'm sure no one meant for it to go that route,
Right.
but when you punch someone, and now it seems even more egregious when you say this person was punched at least 4 times. So it
Yeah.
wasn't, just a one time, you pretty much, you know, punched the
Right.
guy repeatedly. And probably by, the, from the, from his photo, he didn't look like an extremely, large
Right.
kid
Yeah.
or anything, which really should, it doesn't matter, but
Doesn't make a
just,
difference,
just
right? But I
right.
understand what
But
you're saying.
yeah, I mean, to be punched by any adult male in the chest 4 times. I
Right.
mean, just horrible. It's horrible. Just and then
Listen,
for it to happen at a university, for it to
I know.
happen,
I know.
to our folks, is like, come on, we unfortunately continue to shoot ourselves in the foot, and it's another potential scholar, potential
Yeah.
great contributor to our community that's going too soon. Like
Yeah.
it saddens me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
rest in peace to Caleb. While we're here, also got to give a rest in peace to Dwayne Wiggins, Tony.
oh yeah.
Last time we recorded, he was just on hospice, so rest in peace to him. Yeah,
What's your favorite Tony song?
I think we did. We talked about it. It's anniversary for me. Raphael Sadiq was went too crazy on those ad libs. That's the best one for me.
How about you, Reggie? Same.
uh no, it's It Never Rains. That's
Mm.
mine.
I don't think it's a wrong answer here.
Right.
To be honest
Not at
with you.
all.
Um, so I'll go another route, just me and you.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
that was the text
absolute
line.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yep, all
All
classic.
three of
absolute
those
classic.
I think are, and they have so many other hits besides
Yeah.
those, but yeah,
So
well,
real quick, I did, since we talked about this I guess Tony kind of
don't
versus
tell me you met Tony,
uh
yo.
no, 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 no. I have not. I have not. I have not. But I asked Felicia about who she picked between Tony, and Mint Condition.
Oh,
Mm,
Talked about that last week, and she immediately went to Mint Condition.
hmm,
Immediately.
mhm.
okay.
It's like, okay, all
Listen,
right.
stay tuned. We're gonna
We
have to
may
clip
have to
that
do a
up.
poll. We have to do a poll
Yep,
on
we're
that,
gonna have to
James.
clip that up and put that out as a poll.
That's a good one.
So y'all can put it in the comments to see who would y'all choose, Mint
Yeah.
Condition or Tony. We might have to do a little verses with the beats. You know what I'm saying? And
Are we
split it.
vote?
All
Are we
right.
voting first? Are we voting first? What's your vote?
I'm
We
going
already
Tony.
said,
Yeah, we already said it. I'm going Tony.
Tony gonna
With
have a
Triple
quick
P's.
3-0 lead if we vote.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that is not to discredit Mint Condition, because I'm
Right.
sure once
There's some
we
fans out there.
right. Well, once we
Yeah.
dig into Mint Condition, we'll be like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, that catalog is crazy. They got a lot. They got a lot going on. All right.
Where we at?
So after we recorded last week, um, story broke in the NBA world, right? LeBron James, playing against the Knicks in New York, approached ESPN's Stephen A. Smith on the sideline in the middle of the game. I believe it was, the third quarter going to the fourth quarter. And LeBron went over and approached Stephen A. And addressed him about some comments that Stephen A. had made on the show. Now, when we first saw the video, we had no idea what it was in regards to, but because
But
the
we know
internet
what he
is
said.
because we know what the internet is, the internet, someone was going to figure it out and figure out, hey, it was about LeBron James' son, Bronny James, who was also a member of the Los Angeles Lakers and their Dream Team affiliate. Um, so LeBron didn't look happy during the conversation. and Stephen A, he just pretty much listened to what LeBron was saying, and then of course, as the internet does, it went viral. And the next day, Stephen A put out a tweet that said, I didn't want to address this, but since it went viral, I got the producers asking me, I'm going to address it. Now, when he went on the show the next morning, Stephen A, he seemed pretty humble, or not. He seemed pretty measured in how he talked about the incident. He talked about it like it wasn't, a basketball player approaching me. It was a father approaching me about his son. And, he seemed pretty respectful at the time. And I think a lot of us thought at that point it would end there.
Because that's what Stephen A thought it was about. That's why he approached it in that manner.
Okay. Because he thought it was about.
He thought it was a father coming to me.
Yeah.
About it. Right.
Yeah.
And he understood that as a father.
Mm-hmm. Stephen A also did reveal during the show that other NBA players, the one I remember him mentioning, Draymond Green, no longer talk to him as a result of the comments that he made. So the comments that Stephen A made was after the Lakers played against the Sixers, actually, and they lost the game. And
Bronny got cooked, didn't he, by Maxey?
Bronny came into the game and didn't score any points, and he also, wasn't great defensively. Tyrese Maxey, who was he All-Star this year?
Who, Maxey?
Was Maxey All-Star this year?
I don't think so. I don't think he played enough games. I don't think he played enough games.
Okay. Maxey,
he cooked him.
All-Star level player, did what he's supposed to do against Bronny James, a rookie coming to the league. He scored on him and just made him look like he didn't. Maxey made Bronny look like he didn't belong out there on the floor. The very next day on First Take, Stephen A went on the show and said, LeBron, I plead to you as a father, please stop this. So, and he made a bunch of comments about, how bad Bronny played in the game. He made it a bigger deal than what it needed to be. It's just, probably a Tuesday or Wednesday night loss in the middle of the season. Not that big of a deal. I think the Lakers were coming off a back-to-back, which, players are tired, whatever. So anyway, that was what the confrontation was about. Anybody want to jump in right here?
So, all right, we'll talk about this prior to him going on Gil and doubling down and changing his stance after seeing LeBron and Richard Jefferson together.
Right.
Personally, I know Stephen A can go there, but I think it's his job.
We about to argue.
I think it's his job to report for me, the Gil show kind of changes the way I thought about it a little bit, because it's
wait, don't get there yet. Let's
right. Well,
we'll get to there. At this point, how did you feel about everything that happened?
Well, Brian, you tweeted that your son better than niggas in the league, and he not, right? So what you thought? That people wasn't going to talk about how trash he was? Now, Stephen A, you picked the game to kill him on. All right, but eventually they were going to talk about it. All they talk about is the Lakers and Cowboys anyway, in Golden State. When they have nothing else to talk about, they talk about the franchises, right? I don't feel bad about LeBron. I mean, I don't expect you to agree with it. I don't feel bad about LeBron. Not all right. Go ahead, share your point.
I just have a question.
Shoot.
Who was the number one draft pick from this past year?
I know Bronny was number 55. That's what I know.
No. I mean, this is a serious question. What was the number 2 draft pick?
Listen, I
Wait,
tweeted. Come out. Let me give you some. Let
I'm
me give you.
asking you a
I
question.
know.
You're not answering my question.
Hang on. Let me just tell you something. I tweeted during the draft. I'm really out the loop because I don't know who these guys are. My son knew
Okay.
them all. So listen. I don't know. I tell you what I do know. LeBron was 55. I know that.
Okay.
And that's who we talking about.
We could probably say you may not know 5 people in the draft, right?
Okay.
Right. Let's just say, I'm gonna count you just as a casual fan, right? You might, and that's not a dig, right?
I didn't take it as
Right, but I'm just making sure that I put that out. That's not a dig. But you know that LeBron James Jr. was the 55th pick,
right.
right? So when we talk about the 55th pick in the draft, that's the second round of the draft. That is there's only 62 picks, I believe, in the draft. So towards the back end of the draft, where nobody's really that good, right? A kind of a wild comparison. Justin Edwards plays for the Sixers, right? He's a rookie, undrafted. He was the number 1 player in the country last year, 2023. Went to Emotech. Shout out to Justin Edwards. Went to Emotech in Philly. Number 1 player in the entire high school draft class. Number 1 player. He didn't get drafted, right? Now you would say he, as someone that has those type of accolades, right? McDonald's All-American, number 1 player, went to, I believe, Kansas, didn't get drafted, right? Nobody cares. Nobody says he doesn't belong. He doesn't even play.
Well, we have seen
right?
that before.
Right. But
Maurice Rice.
The point, Maurice Rice wasn't number 1 player in the country.
No. Well,
just a good player.
You're right.
But,
well, Matt Carroll was number 1 player in the country.
Matt Carroll was number one.
He was number 1. He was number 1 over Kobe. Okay.
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
No. And if he was, it might be.
Listen, no. You said no. But go ahead to your point.
The listeners can Google it. They'll get the right answer. But ultimately, the question is Stephen A. just creating controversy, right? Because nobody reports on the 55th pick.
Wait a minute.
Nobody.
Hold on. We're getting ahead.
The whole sports landscape commented on the 55th pick because the 55th pick is LeBron James's son. That changes everything. Stop.
It actually does not. It actually does not.
Stop. Hang on a second. Let me tell you why it changes everything. Because LeBron was the most covered player before he even got into high school. In 8th grade, they were covering him. In high school, he was in Sports Illustrated, right?
What does that have to do with him being the 55th pick?
What I'm saying is he is the son. No. He is.
Let each other land. Let each other land. Go ahead, James.
Go ahead, Reggie. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
All right. So what does that have to do with it? His name is his father's name. He one of the greatest players in the sport. Why does it matter? Why does it fucking matter that Marcus Jordan was arrested snorting coke with his car on the joint? Why? Because he's Michael Jordan's son. We don't hear about Jeff Teague's son. We don't hear about Jason Terry's son. We don't hear about KJ, who was drafted. When I watched the joint, he was drafted like 52nd or 53rd. We don't hear about them because they pops wasn't dumb. Why do we hear about him? Because he LeBron James' son. And the hype had started once he was in school. Once he got in the school, everybody was like, you know what? Brian probably gonna stick around to play at least 1 year with his son. He was going to get covered regardless. Even his whole college career, he was getting covered. And then to come to the NBA, you didn't think that he was going to be scrutinized? You thought he was going to be looked at as any other player?
Yeah,
no.
Because that's what.
To you, it doesn't matter, right?
I'm going to tell you.
To the sports world, which is why everybody know it. They covered it.
That's what. And let me explain to you. That's the difference between being a credible analyst and being someone who just wants clicks. Because no one ever in the history of basketball covers the 55th pick. No one. So
You're not
this is so
talking
wait.
about the
It
55th
doesn't matter.
pick.
It does not. It does not matter. Listen,
Okay.
what did I say? Listen, are you not listening to what I said? What I specifically said was, as an analyst, I didn't say as a fan. As an analyst, nobody covers the 55th pick. Period. Doesn't matter if the 55th pick plays good, plays bad. Nobody covers the 55th pick. Damn near nobody covers rookies. You don't. So is Stephen A. Smith being a sports analyst, or is Stephen A. Smith just creating a story? That's that's the only that's my only point. That's all I'm saying.
Your point is a question. So let me ask you a question. Do you like Stephen A?
Generally,
yes or no?
No. It's not as simple as that.
That goes
No,
with
it's
it.
not. You're not even letting me answer my question. It's not as simple as that. There are some things that I like that Stephen A. Smith says, and some that I don't. I'm not 100% Stephen A. hater. I'm probably not 100% anybody hater, right? But there's some things I agree, some things I don't. I don't agree with his coverage of LeBron James Jr. I don't. So but it may be something else that I don't agree that I agree with him. I'm not a straight. Don't say nothing, Stephen A. Smith. I'm not. I feel like from an analyst perspective that to analyze the basketball game, Tyrese Maxey right now averaged 27 points, which means he flames the entire NBA, right? Rookie, second year, third year, whatever. Tyrese Maxey is tough. We all see him play, right? He's not even just a good player. He's a very good player. Going against a rookie, right? So we're not even talking about people that are even close to even equal footing. And Tyrese Maxey, I think, was like the 13th pick in the draft. What I'm saying is that there's a difference between analyzing basketball, being an analyst, and just trying to create a story. That's my problem with Stephen A. Smith and how he attempts to cover sports. He's gotten to a point where he needs to create a story. Fourth, fifth-year guard flaming a rookie is not a story.
So let me add some context there. After Stephen A. Went on First Take and pleaded to LeBron James as a father to put an end to this, Stephen A. he went on his podcast, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and revealed that people close to LeBron, who he has a relationship with, probably Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, reached out to him, and he expressed he was annoyed by it because he called LeBron sensitive, and he just went on a rant about his comments earlier and how he was fine to say what he said. While he was making those comments, on the screen they played a B-roll of Bronny James's bad plays from the game. Stephen A. also has been a person documented saying that if any players have a problem with him, I'm at the games. Come roll up, come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron did that. LeBron talked to him.
He talked to him, right?
Yeah, he talked to him. And now it has advanced. So Stephen A. went from saying he didn't want to talk about it to now he's been talking about it all week long.
On a tour.
He's on a tour talking about his confrontation with LeBron James. And he has not been, in my opinion, talking about it in the most respectful way. Most recently, his appearance on Gil's Arena, where he called most recently with Sean Hannity last night, saying how he thought it was weak, but all I was concerned, LeBron ain't put his hands on me, so that's all I would cared about. And then he had Sean Hannity saying, "Oh, I had your back." Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, that was most recently. But before that, he did appear on Gil's Arena, where it's a bunch of clips about how he thought it was not the it didn't paint LeBron in the best light to pull up on Stephen A like that at the game. And I see a lot of people who were on Stephen A. Smith's side, basically taking the side of nobody's above being criticized, but now they're seeing how he's moving. I've seen a few people change their stance. How do you feel about that now, James? After the Gills Arena appearance?
I mean, to Reggie's point, in regards to Stephen A. and his form of journalism, like, to get him the bags that he's gotten, right, at this point with First Take. He does sensationalize things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like his approach to a lot of subjects are clickbaity.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Now, for me, it is entertaining, right?
Oh, definitely.
So, and I'm a loudmouth nigga too. So, like, I relate to some of that Stephen A. shit, right? To some degree. All right. After watching him on Gil, I did kind of side with him a little bit, but then I also looked at Stephen A. kind of like a clown too. Like, you know what I'm saying? As he continued his whole diatribe about it. Like, I get it, but like, you kind of doing too much. At this stage in the game, you probably just need to have that conversation with LeBron.
Right.
Like, Gil's Arena aside, because you kind of like shifted what you were saying before. All right. Now, like, fall back. Because go ahead, Reggie.
I got one question. Just with the timeline. It was any of this, did Stephen A make all of this public? I mean, so what? I mean, did anybody like the conversation he had with LeBron James? I understand that he talked about it on First Take, maybe the next day.
Mhm.
So this conversation, whether or not it was supposed to be in private, it's in public, right?
Right.
But did he create this story?
Who, Stephen A?
Yes.
To some degree, I
Like that,
think
yeah,
so.
right. That's
Yeah,
that's my problem.
I get
I
it.
guess that's my problem.
Listen, I get that.
Yeah. He just it's no longer being an analyst when you're attempting to be a part of the story and you are just a journalist. You're not an athlete. You're not the talent.
Right.
You don't want to reveal the conversation that him and LeBron had. No one was even aware of it. I mean, people could speculate all they want, but you
Right.
went on there and now you're going on a world tour about about a guy. It's crazy. But I will say this to kind of button this up.
Oh no,
I
I
do
got some
think that.
thoughts. Not a button.
All right.
I know
Well,
you. I know. I know.
just to, yeah, just to be clear, I don't agree with, and I don't know 100%. I don't think has LeBron even kind of like responded. So I don't even know what I don't even know if
Not
LeBron.
official.
I don't even know exactly what LeBron said. Right. So I can't even really say I feel like LeBron was out of pocket
He
or
wasn't.
out of line. I mean, if I would no, I think that if he did approach Stephen A. Smith in that manner, he probably was, in my opinion.
Why you say that?
I mean, because we're talking about professional athletes, so I
True.
don't, I don't need. I would look at a parent sideways at a high school basketball game that went to go confront somebody that said something about they kid, right? Unless you're saying something like out of pocket. Like, I mean, it just, I don't think that LeBron James should be expecting or defending whatever play his son does on the court. It's a little, it's a little
I
iffy to
feel that.
me.
I
Now
feel that.
but see, he could say that he was coming to, no, he could say I was coming to the defense of my teammate, right? That and nobody would bat an eye if it was
Right. Right.
Dalton Connect, right?
You're right. You're
I
right.
mean, yo, leave my rook alone.
Right. Right.
Right.
In the same
Nobody would
manner.
say anything.
Yeah.
Right. In the same manner. So, and even Stephen A's kind of interpretation of the conversation, saying that LeBron came to him as a father. How did you even come to that conclusion?
Well, let me say this. And B, I do definitely want to get your thoughts, but I just want to say that's how I felt, where I didn't feel like LeBron was wrong, because I'm not a lip reader, but what I got from it was like, yo, keep my son's name out your mouth, basically, or something to that effect, right? Me as a father, right? For my son that has gone through some things, he almost died, got him on my team, put him in the G League. He done, people talking shit about him, shit like that, right? Nigga, you know me. Like, show me some type of respect. Don't talk about my son like that. Like, I know you gotta do your job, but don't try to drag my young boy through the mud and try to make this about me, this, that, and the third. That part, while I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I understand as a father or protector, you wanting to do that, right? Mm-hmm. On the Stephen A side, I feel like you got a job to do. They just gave you the bag. You better make it worthwhile. And so far you have been. You crossed the line a lot of times, but I mean,
from a basketball analyst perspective, LeBron James Jr. is not playing well.
Right.
And you can analyze his basketball game and come to that conclusion. But when you go in there and say, LeBron, as a father, you need to stop this.
Yeah.
That's we're no longer having a basketball conversation.
Yeah.
You can call somebody trash.
You're
right.
right.
I mean, but when you like LeBron, you need to stop. Come on now. It's you're no longer being an analyst. You're more like being an asshole. And when you're an asshole, sometimes you get approved. But if I was LeBron, and I'll give LeBron, I think people, it's a dig to people. People take a dig at LeBron for what they consider being sensitive, right? But I wouldn't say you sensitive, and you're a protector. So right. I think it almost rewinds back to what we were talking about last week about feelings and emotions, and how we can't, we can't even have a full, full experience without it being,
great point,
looked at a certain kind of way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I take LeBron in that fight, though.
I would too.
He'll whoop Stephen A. and Sean Hannity's ass. And I be wondering, like LeBron is a big nigga. Like, I be wondering, like, if LeBron actually like smacks somebody, like, what they gonna do?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Stephen A. like, well, he didn't put his hands on me. Right, you didn't want him to.
Yeah.
For real.
Like he could hurt you by accident. By accident. I mean, we all in our 40s, and our 40s ain't like his.
My bad, fragile little nigga. Watch out.
Right. Go ahead, B. We need you on this one.
Okay. Couple thoughts. I got a lot of thoughts. LeBron would have never done it, but he should have slapped the shit out of Stephen A. He should have slapped the dog shit out of Stephen A. LeBron, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, he has not said anything to anyone criticizing Bronny James's play on the court.
No.
You cannot get on your show and question me as a father. You can't do it. I'm the best, or arguably the best ever, to do this thing. I'm raising my child to do this thing. You don't get on your show and tell me to stop it. Also, if anyone knows anything about competing, one of the best experiences and growth in whatever you're doing is getting cooked by somebody with more experience or just a better player. So I haven't heard that point being made. Bronny James getting cooked by Tyrese Maxey is going to help his career. You always see it in the NFL. They say, "Oh, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?" Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah, normally you getting fucked up or ran over.
Yeah, something like that. All
It
right,
ain't like my
what was
welcome
your
to the NFL moment. I scored a 90-yard touchdown. Oh no, it was
no,
like
no, no.
I should have
Yeah.
slid.
Right. What did Cooper DeJean said who was it he was playing against that was kind of giving him some work? I can't remember. It was a game earlier this year, obviously. They asked him somebody, he was on some show, they asked Cooper DeJean, safety for the Eagles, what was his welcome to the NFL moment? And it was a player, I think it was that Ravens game where he was getting worked a little bit early in the game. But anyway, I digress. Also, I was going to piggyback on try to make a connection to what we talked about last week. I think one of the things, and y'all can tell me if I'm off here. One of the things that, as we talked about last week, as we get older in our age and our emotions and this whole thing as a man, particularly speaking to you, James, because you have a son, I know for me, I worry about the things that I may not be around to protect my kids from. That worries me every day. Like as a man, black man growing up in this world, black sons, you don't know, like you want to help.
Yeah.
LeBron James is the most criticized athlete that we've ever seen.
Period. Yeah.
Most talked about, criticized. There is hefty praise that comes with it too, but
Right.
it's the over the top criticism that comes with the job. I know what this is like. I can protect you from this. I'm the originator of all this shit.
Right.
Um, and I guess that's kind of talking out of both sides because I don't think it was about Brian. I think it was about you don't get to talk to me about,
Yeah, I agree.
my parenting, and you completely ignored the sensitivity of it because LeBron grew up without a father. I know for me, not having my dad growing up, I question everything that I do as far as my sons. I wonder if I'm being too hard or if I'm being too
Right.
soft.
So, yeah.
It's constant just thoughts of, am I doing the right thing? So you can't have the loudest mouth in sports reporting question you as a parent because your son played in the game and had his welcome to the NBA moment.
Right.
LeBron should have slapped the shit out of Stephen A. And everything Stephen A did afterwards going on these shows, he might need to get pulled up on.
Get your bag, bro. At this point, get your money.
Who,
You just
Stephen
signed a
A?
big deal. Yeah,
Yeah, he
you got
signed his
signed a
money.
big
So
deal.
yeah, and I think that adds to it too. So for those who don't know, Stephen A. did recently sign a 5-year, $100 million deal with ESPN. So
That viral moment was the best shit that ever happened to him right now,
right, because he's everywhere. And for me, it's easy to connect the dots. Like, oh, you feeling yourself? You got this
You
deal.
seen nigga
He
look like
said it.
Martin in the episode where he
He
played
did.
Nino Brown and
He
shit. He had the black, he was
Yeah.
all black with the black turtleneck with the
Right.
thin joint around his neck. What
Yeah.
yo, I was looking at this nigga, man, while I was watching it. And there was a point that I was just like, I don't even think he realized how he looked, yo. Like
Yeah.
you really on your old head shit, but you feeling yourself. You want them old heads that's feeling theyself. And I
Mhm.
get it. Cause he started trying to flex all over the place. I ain't nothing from no team that I
Yeah.
want to get that I can't get. Might be
Yeah.
an hour, might be a day, might be a month. But if I want it, I'ma get it. I sit with owners in the
Yeah.
boxes. And listen, I believe all that.
Yeah.
And I put myself kind of in his shoe, right? I would probably be standing on business too. Because I
Mm.
know, Brian, you're not gonna put your hands on me. That's number one. No matter what I say, you're not gonna put your hands on me. And guess what? I won't be with Larry David next time at courtside. All right. I'm gonna be with that big black bull and the big light skin bull. They're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
I'm
nah,
sorry. I'm sorry, big. Go ahead.
that was just wild. So I hope Stephen A. just I hope he just chill out and just let it go because you're not
After
gonna
this
keep.
week.
Yeah, please let it go. You got your money. All right, it's a viral moment. It's clickbaity. Do your thing, but let it go because. Mm-mm. Um, Staying with the theme of parenting, Nelly had some interesting comments on Drink Champs. where he talked about his parenting style and basically said that, how he plans on, his kids. So if his daughter, basically he said if his daughter fell on hard times, she could come back and live with him forever, whatever. Here's your room,
Which she
whatever.
did.
Right. He said his son, you can come back for a few days, you on the couch, but you got to get out. And I saw this and I was interested in you guys' thoughts on that type of thinking. Do you feel similarly or opposite? Reggie, I see you
You want
shaking
to go
your head.
first?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think I know y'all probably just tired of me just going here with
Go ahead, go with
coach
the race.
thing
Go
and
pull out your
Come
card.
on.
but
Race
I do
card.
I think that there is how can I explain it? Just a issue in our community, right? Where we have this, I don't even want to call it a fetish, but we have this traditionally, we've had this kind of experience with our kids where it's like, you 18, get the fuck out.
Mhm.
Right. Or you 18, you need to start
Especially
being an
boys.
adult. Right. You need to start being an adult. Right. When we, as my 46-year-old self looks back at the 18-year-old me, I I was totally unprepared for the real world. Right.
Mhm.
But I had that similar kind of conversation. And I just think it's a cultural thing where we kick our kids out. And there's not my experience with other cultures, they don't do that.
At all.
They stay at home and there's no judgment. They save money. They sometimes even had their families there, their wife, kids,
Right.
like um and when I think about just that attitude, like I don't know where that came from, or why is that something that we would feel as though we needed to do. When, like I said, no 18-year-old is prepared for life out here in the streets. I mean, and even if you talk about just the economy, I mean, most adults are struggling.
Mhm.
Most adults are struggling. So, um, not to beat a dead horse, but I do feel like we have a lot of self-destructive behavior within our community, and that's one of them that I identified, um, a long time ago. It's just this desire to like kick our kids out, and I don't like it. Um, I think that as a parent, in my opinion, my job is to raise my child. When my child becomes a young adult, then my job is to guide my child in their decisions and in them navigating through life that they haven't, and I hopefully have. So, I mean, it was cringy to me to hear that, especially especially the difference between your son and your daughter. That was a little cringy to me too. I don't have a son. I only have a daughter. So I don't have the perspective of a black man and a son. I
But
know
you
that.
are a black son.
Right. I am. And I do sometimes I wonder what type of father I would be to a son.
Mhm.
Did
And I
that.
and I absolutely um you know, give all praise to all black men that are raising black sons, because there's a balance there that you guys have to navigate through. Like B said, are you too soft? Are you too
Right.
hard? And I know, one of my friends, he got four sons, and he is like a drill sergeant, right?
Right.
And most of it is because of his upbringing and understanding how the world is unforgiving to black males.
Mhm.
Right.
However,
Yeah.
and the hope is that his wife can balance that out. But how are you, how does that affect his sons perception of the world.
Yeah.
When dad coming from a good place, he ain't coming from he ain't coming from Joe Jackson place. He coming from a
Right.
good place, but he knows that m- my sons need discipline. My sons need structure.
Right.
And the only way I can give them that is to be extremely hard, because I know what the other side looks like. I
Right.
know, I see it every day. We see the Y ends every day. He's like, I'm
Right.
not going to have my son become one of them.
Mhm.
But how does that look? So I mean, like I said, I think it's just a overall kind of interesting dynamic in our community about just giving our kids kicking our kids out. I don't like it.
Go ahead, James. What you think?
A couple thoughts. Piggybacking off of Reggie, I think Reggie picks up a great point when he says that in our culture, this is like a tradition, right? I also think that it's something that's been passed down over the years of generations of African Americans, and the world was much different, when our grandfathers and great grandfathers were around. So at that point, they were out on their own, and in a lot of cases at 18, 19, starting a family within the first 3-4 years of being out the house if they haven't, before that. So I mean, I think it's like the ideology where it's like, tough times build tough people, right? So you a man, you got to be a man. You got to go get yours on your own. I'm not going to support you no more going out. So they go great grandpop, he go out. He have granddad, he do the same thing to granddad. Granddad do the same thing to my father, let's just say, but then my father don't do that to me, right?
Mhm.
Um Using my own self, I thought this was a great topic because I actually had this conversation with my mom a while ago, saying that sometimes I feel like my father was too soft on me. Because I remember I probably was in high school, or maybe I was a couple years out of high school. I was still living at home, and my mom was like, you gonna have to get out. You know what I mean? You gotta get out soon. You know what I'm saying? My dad was like, you don't never gotta go nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Sorry, but uh I mean, I think about that. I think about, like, because my next door neighbor, for instance, Mr. Kennedy, who was the same age, maybe a few years older than my father, he talked about how his father kicked him out at 18.
Mhm.
And, but also let's keep in mind a lot of those 18-year-olds, like our father's age and stuff like that, they went into armed services, right?
Mhm.
Most of them did that versus like just went out into the world. Now there were some that went out to the world or whatever, but a lot of them went into the armed forces. So coming out, they weren't men going in, but they came out more so of men, right? Um, how do I feel about it? I'll be honest with you, yo. I'm probably a softie, you know. I'm probably won't kick my children out, right? But I'm going to do everything I can to make them independent. My wife is a very independent person, right? And that was one of the qualities I liked about her. So she is good at helping making the kids independent. So, like, if they go to college and they have to come back home, they just have to come back home. But they come back home with a plan, and in this lens of the way society is.
Mhm.
Oh, can I just say something? Uh, I don't believe that makes you a softie. I mean, I just and if we just think about, like I said, other cultures, would we say that they're softies? Would we say that the Chinese family or the white family that they don't, that there is no debate about it. There's no kind of reconciliation of feelings about it, right? Okay, gotta come home. Okay, gotta come home.
Right.
Is that soft, or is that
It's
love?
loving. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think that what you said was just very kind of just eye opening, in the sense of like we we so hard, man.
I know.
Like just us as a people, man. We hard. And I think sometimes we so hard we make it hard.
Yep, I
You
agree.
know, or yeah, and it just the sad part about it is we've had to be hard. We ain't hard because we want to be.
Right.
Like we've had to be, but it's really sad when you think about having to like reconcile your feelings about whether or not you'll continue to support your kid in that way. It's not soft. It's not soft at all.
One more point I wanted to make. Watching Joe Budden's podcast, Mark Lamont Hill brought this up, where parents, your kids. So if you have a couple of children, you know which child that if you kick out is probably going to be okay. And you know the one that if you kick out, they probably going to fall on their face. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's with some discretion, but I think there should be a plan in place because you don't want to enable your child by, giving them shelter and things like that. Like you got to find a job. I'm going to help you find a place. You know what I mean? Because unless there's just an emotional thing where you might find that out about the child where they're afraid to be on their own. You know what I'm saying? But B, what you got?
I think that both of you made excellent points. I think as far as Nelly, he act like he don't got millions of dollars. That's like this. I can't move past that. Like, okay,
But remember,
you
B, he said that's how he was. That's how he was raised. Like they
hmm
kicked him out at 18. I think
hmm
he said that. And you know what I mean?
Hove did that, so hopefully you don't gotta go through that. Like, what we talking about?
But you're right. Having millions of dollars, that's different. You can live your life in the wing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like, I mean, I think y'all talked about it on a broader perspective, but with Nelly is just confusing
Right.
because you can buy a compound and you never have to see him. Like, he's just over there. This is his area.
Only
Um,
nigga moving units and pimp juice and nuts.
right.
Stop it. He got the bread.
Yeah, you got the money, so they don't have to. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, no,
I got general question for you, B, real quick.
sure.
This is a question for you. Do you feel like do you think rich white people carry their wealth in that manner? Like you think rich white people is like, all right, we just rich, right? And I say that because a lot of our wealth is first generation wealth.
hmm
So um, Trump's dad left him whatever.
Yeah.
Left him a truckload of money, right?
Right.
Or has money so new to us that we're like, oh no, you gotta get yours on your own. When rich white people, they don't give a fuck about nepotism,
Yeah.
and we and
At
we
all.
we the ones we the ones like you can't hire your cousin.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, all their cousins work there.
Because you know how your cousin is. That be the
It don't
thing.
matter. Yo, I
Listen,
mean,
hold up. Reggie, you not letting all your boys get a job. I'm not when I say that, I'm saying like, you know what I mean, right? Some of y'all, you can't work where I work. I can't have it. All right. I
Right.
love you, but I
listen, man, that is a difference in culture.
Yeah.
White people,
you're right. You're
they
right.
they they don't care.
Because
Little
they
Johnny
don't.
on
Yeah.
heroin,
Yeah.
they gonna get
Yeah.
Johnny a job in the
Yeah.
C-suite. They don't care.
Remember,
We
James.
sitting there
Remember,
talking about we don't want somebody messing up our good name, not
James.
even
Hold up.
knowing our name on
Wait a
where
minute.
ain't
Hold up,
shit.
before you say that, because just like you said, Reggie, as black people, we don't only have to worry about did I say the right thing? Did I look the right way? But also, is it because I'm black? So because I have to do everything to make sure I'm good,
Mhm.
it's crazy that my cousin could do something and that could have it. I would think that could have an effect on me when it should not at all.
Let me say
Mhm.
this to answer your question. I'm hiring my folks. I didn't, and it's funny. You say this about Trump. I ain't get here to be like, I ain't hiring nobody I know.
Listen, I know
No,
that's
I'm
right.
hiring. I'm for real.
I'm not mad
I'm
at
hiring
that.
my folks. I'm hiring my yes. I'm hiring my
All right,
folks.
you might
Like,
get hit
listen,
up
the
after
white.
this, John Reggie.
Listen, man, and they already know. Know what I mean? You can pass that background check, pass
Like,
that
yo,
short
I
test. I got
just
something
come
for you.
home. Can you get me?
Listen,
I mean,
you got to pass the background check. Pass the background check. I got you. I got something for you. I'm dead serious, man. And the crazy part is, man, we see
that's the clipper
they
right there. That's
the other folks, they want us to maintain these standards and rules while they constantly violate them.
Yeah.
Like they created nepotism. We don't have the ability to have nepotism.
Hold on.
They
Let me ask
created
you a
it.
question. Did they create that, 18, you got to get out? Or is that something we just adopted as a people out of just.
I think it was a times thing because I mean,
Okay.
there in other
Yeah, I like
cultures
that.
they did it, like you know what I mean, old Italians and things like that. Like, but it was just a different time. You could go out at 18 and probably make something
Yeah.
out of yourself. You know what I mean? These YNs not going to no army or no trade school for real, for real.
Yeah,
They
they
going to
gonna knock your
Disney class.
nana. They gonna knock your nana in the head and take her purse. What are you talking about?
Lord have mercy.
But no, I was gonna say, James, we talked about it last week. I think Reggie might be one of yours too, but one of our favorite movies, Casino. Remember, he hired his nephew as a security guard. He was terrible. He fired him. Sam Rothstein got him out of there, and he came back like, "Yo, we got to work something out. You got to bring him back. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, he was a fuck up too.
Right? Like, you got to bring him back. What are you doing? Yeah, I don't like it. I just think, if the goal is to set our kids up in the best position to win,
Right.
it's much better to just, all right, you don't have to get out at 18. Yes, have a plan, figure out, have an idea what you trying to do. Stay home, you could save some money. Then, by the time you're 25, you can go buy a house, and that's putting you in a position to win.
Right.
Like, you could buy a house instead of, oh, I'm out at 18 and I'm working these crappy jobs and I got all this pressure on me to do the thing. I gotta make it. I don't know. Some people can survive in that circumstance, but if you're somebody like Nelly with millions of dollars, why would
Yeah.
you want that to be a thing? That was just
Right.
really weird take. Um, and I don't even know how many kids he got. I know he got the one with Ashanti. I don't know how many.
And he had the daughter and he got the son. He might got at least, I mean, he talked about, I think, 3. But
Mhm,
come on. Nelly was talking about, you know what I mean, he's a sniper.
mhm.
Nigga said, if you had my poster on the wall, chances are you had AI poster on the wall. That was oh man, oh man. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
those times. Jalen Hurts took that spot now.
Yeah. I didn't watch
Shout
his
out to
whole
Jalen Hurts.
interview. I see in the notes you put here that he didn't mention Irv. That would have set the timeline ablaze.
Oh, so listen, the interview was great. I
Hmm.
forgot how entertaining Nelly is as well.
Yeah.
Hype bull.
Just a couple of points on the interview. Nori obviously seen Jada Kiss Hair Man, right? Because when it start, he got a bucket on with a band-aid. When he take his hat off, nigga got a boozy fade. Nori ain't never had the boozy. He got the boozy face. He trying to grow the little dread joints from when he first came out. Nori was losing his hair, but shout outs to him. You know what I mean? He don't want to be bald no more. I'm not mad at him.
Gotta get them
Oh,
hymns.
listen,
The hymns
yo,
advertisement.
that's what it is. But listen, y'all gotta watch the interview because he has a bunch of funny stories. The story about his grandma fanning out over Burt Reynolds, like Burt Reynolds was a sex symbol, and his grandma
Yeah.
was all over that. That was hilarious. But just one question. how do y'all feel about Nelly and Ali? Have y'all seen anything about that before? Some of the interviews that Ali put out, and then Nelly's response to those interviews.
I
So,
haven't seen anything about it. What's the beat? What's the issue?
well, so in the Drink Champs, he says that the whole Saint Lunatics, they're going back on tour or something, right? He said everybody but Ali.
Oh,
Now
I
Ali
think we
had
did
did it
talk about this. Yeah.
right. He did the video, you know what I mean, hating on Nelly or whatever like that.
Right.
Nelly, he gives me a little bit of pause arrogance type shit. Like I have believed some of what you're saying, and I have believed some of what Ali's saying. But I think it's an interesting dynamic where they were shopping the group. Kid says, you know what, we could probably get you a deal. And then Nelly go get the deal.
Yeah.
Same lunatics kind of fall by the wayside. And Nelly say in an interview, listen, I got put on so that y'all can find y'all lane. I didn't get put on to make your lane. I was like, damn, that's real shit though. You know what I mean? You got the opportunity being up under me, make it happen for yourself. So, and I think that might be Ali's issue. He was the man before Nelly got signed, and then but
yeah, that's tricky. That's tricky. If we a group and I'm the man in the group, and then we meet with the label and they like, nah, we want to
we
take
see it all
somebody
the
else.
time.
Right.
Public announcement. Where them niggas at?
Yeah.
They probably on the street though. They probably not booked.
Yeah, they outside. They outside. They not they doing the residual challenge and then getting in the bed at home.
But listen, with these groups, we know who the star is. Like Drew
Do
Hill.
we?
Drew Hill. We know Cisco.
I mean, I guess no. You're right. I mean,
it's Tresvant.
Yeah.
Once Bobby was gone, he had no more competition. Even though Tresvant probably didn't have the best career out of the rest of them, but he was the main boy, like Mike in the Jackson 5, like the high voice young boy from Soul for Real. You know what I mean? Like we know the standouts. You know what I mean? It don't make it fair, but you know, I can't wait for them to bring it to us.
I don't know. I mean, I do think sometimes, stars are made.
I agree.
I don't know if you know who's a star in a boy band. That's a that's a tough one.
Come on, Justin was the one.
I think it's easy to see.
You do.
Yeah.
I
And New
don't
Kids
know.
on the Block. We know it was the little boy, and then what's my man name with the black hair? The other one. You know what I'm talking about.
George.
No, I mean, do we know, or is that what they what I mean, was it like? And the reason why I say that is because I don't know what the group looked like before somebody else got their hands on it, right?
Right.
So I mean, I want to say that the talent of each individual was probably similar, right?
Yeah. I'll give you a perfect example.
So somebody made a choice.
No. I'll give you a
put
perfect
their
example.
energy behind someone.
The Locks. Kiss has a line in the verse with Big in them before they like really came out. He said, everybody want to know who the Locks is because we ain't spitting nothing out but the hot shit. So we didn't know what they looked like, I guess, outside of New York. Chic was probably my favorite at the time. All their skills seem similar. Once you put the face to it, and I don't know what their first video was, but Kiss started to be like the forefront, the person. And I think at that point, it was probably a conscious decision, like you said, Reggie, to like push him. Same way with Sticky Fingers. You know what I mean? I think a good example of a group that didn't really do that so much was Tribe Called Quest. Because while Q-Tip might have been the front man, Fife was just as much of a front man as well. You know what I'm saying?
But see, what I look at a group like Wu-Tang, right? Like they, I mean, in people's opinions, but Ghostface sold the most albums. But I think that they had a conscious kind of idea that we were gonna be a group, but RZA
We all
wanted to make sure
stand.
that everybody had an
Yeah, I agree.
opportunity.
They're
You
an
know,
anomaly.
and I think that a lot of times when you got somebody pulling the strings,
Yeah,
that they say, you know what, I'm gonna grab this one,
yeah. He
and then
marketable. Yeah.
It's like Toni Braxton with her sister. She got signed,
Damn.
and you know the
Yo,
sisters had to wait.
listen, that's funny that you bring up Toni Braxton. I remember the first time I seen them, I'm like, they all look like Toni Braxton's with just a little funny.
Don't do that.
Like she got the best out of all of them, yo. Like, let's keep it a bean. Like, they're all beautiful women, don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah.
But when you see Toni and then you see the other ones, you're like, oh, all right.
yeah, you like, oh yeah, they was like, you.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I know it. I mean, Tamar could have, you know what I mean? But then you see little Toni. No, yeah. It's you. You the one. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a combination of talent meets how can we market you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's how they decide. But I guess Nelly, Saint Lunatics, clearly he was the one to market, and they put their money behind it. And good decision by them because Nelly sold a bunch of units.
He did. And
Mhm.
Murph Lee was my favorite boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't hate on Nelly. Are you guys Nelly fans? Now,
For the
I was.
time,
Oh,
at
for
the
the time, yeah.
time, yeah.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I don't go back
Nelly
and
had
be
a
like,
run.
oh, let me go
Nelly
listen
had
to
a
No,
run.
Nelly slap.
He had a run.
hold up.
He had
Then
a
my
run.
Nelly slap is with him and Kelly Rowland. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Hold up. And the joint with him and Tug McGraw.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bang with
Yes.
country on the low. That's my joint. Now I'll listen, and it's over again. I'm gonna have to listen after this joint. Yeah, that's a banger. That's a top 5 country songs coming next.
Oh wow. Let's see what we got going on. James, you gotta update us. I was about to say something plausible, but you gotta update us on this Odell Drewski Diddy allegations. I saw it. I did see Drewski's allegations, and then I quickly checked out because it looked so ridiculous.
All right. Cue the news music.
Right.
Welcome into Everything Diddy, where we give you the up to date on the Diddy case, the allegations. This week, we have Drewski and OBJ as a part of the new lawsuit by Ashley Parham. All right. Now, Ashley, if you remember, she filed the lawsuit that she was the one allegedly essayed by the remote control. All right.
Oh, okay.
This is her. All right. And which was a revenge essay, basically.
Incident. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So apparently, so I didn't go into all the details with it. I
Mhm.
did get some notes about Ashley herself, but Beckham is accused of taking turns assaulting her along with Diddy, and supposedly Combs's confidant Shane Pierce. I think that might have been one of the bodyguard boys, or whatever. But Drewski is accused of instructing Diddy to insult her, like he was egging him on apparently. And of course, Drewski strongly denies the claims. He said basically because he wasn't even a public figure back in 2018. And again, if this was filed back in 2018, or this is when it happened, and they just amended it to add them to, along with Jaguar Wright. Now, I don't know what Jaguar Wright's role in this is, but it's a bad situation.
Jaguar right
However,
at the free golf is crazy.
I think it was either you or Reggie or both of y'all said, and I saw this also on JBP, that a good strategy would be to let all these crazy allegations come out so
Mhm.
we can dispel them all. Okay. And then you'll see that out of the 100 allegations, it's only one that's plausible. But 99 other ones, they was fake. So how can we really believe this one? You know what I mean? I just thought this was very, very crazy. But B, what do you think about and Drewski? That's my man. Before, let me just say this. You see everybody talking about the footage of Drewski and Diddy's crib. Looks a whole nother way now. What it does do for me looking at Drewski, because I do watch Could Have Been the Records Jones and Could Have Been Love. Drewski has cringy comedy. Super, super cringy. It's funny. And then I'll be like, I probably shouldn't be laughing at that. Because that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he did this. I don't know. I hope to God he didn't do this.
Right.
But Drewski might get another allegation or two come out. Because
Really?
I watched the video of the girl switcheroo. You know what I'm saying? But don't pay me no mind.
Wait, Switcheroo is the girl's name?
No, that's the nickname. No. That's Could Have Been Love.
Okay.
That's one of the
Right.
contestants.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I mean. Switcheroo is the name of a girl on Could Have Been Love.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I gotta watch that. I know we talked about it.
Oh my God, it is so
I saw the
funny.
I saw the clip with Umar, and I'm like, man, I gotta get to this.
And Umar, I think, is episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
All right, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh
I'm gonna get to it.
Boston. Listen, Boston is legal. Watch episode 1 through 4.
Are those the only episodes out, or is it more?
I think that's it. I think I'm waiting on 5.
Okay. Yeah, I read the allegations, and I didn't really see what Odell Beckham's allegations were. I think the allegations with Drewski and the whole thing of oiling her body up and then using her as a slip and slide, sorry. I think those allegations were so ridiculous that I just kind of checked out and thought like, oh, they're making like it's a farce. Like you can't like it's not a real assault. And I apologize if that comes off insensitive, but to put that in a lawsuit that oiled her body up and jumped on her and used her like a slip and slide is crazy. Also, why did they use Drewski as the name? Why didn't they use his government name?
That's a good point. I mean, I saw it as his name, better known as Drewski.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very crazy. And it ain't over.
Yeah.
Much more to come.
Yeah. You got any thoughts on that, Reggie?
I mean,
I wish y'all could see Reggie's face.
Diddy, listen, did he make any music the last 20 years? Or he was just busy being a creep? Like, I mean, that's it's just so much. I mean, and I do think that in some world there is a tactic that says just keep bringing it,
right?
Because the more this stuff that gets perceived as not being credible or even kind of like this ridiculous, like B just said. I mean, why are you describing a SA as a slip and slide? Like it's like, am I even taking half of this seriously? And it almost makes you, and I could not have even imagined this last year, but some of this has almost turned Diddy into almost a sympathetic figure. Like it almost make you be like, it's no way.
Right.
Like, because it's so much and it's so like ridiculous. Like it's so, I mean, and listen, it's been ridiculous at almost every turn.
Yeah.
Freaking baby oil. Like it's like and like I said, it's almost turned him into a sympathetic figure. Like damn, like
Yeah,
it's
you
like
run
the
the
power, yeah,
emotions. I agree.
the power, and it's like you don't want to be sympathetic, but you like damn, like
Like,
was it even possible for one? You almost be feeling like, is it impossible for one dude to get into that much with
yo,
that many people, that many accomplices? Like, I mean, we know it's some wild boy, but that many accomplices, that many, like, it's
I mean, listen, you saw Get Him to the Greek, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Doesn't help. Stuff like that. I mean,
yeah,
and
yeah.
granted, that was a movie, but that's what it reminds me of. Like some of the things that they're saying, like, wow, it's like kind of like the movie a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? That was a funny movie too.
Yeah,
That was a good one. Reggie, what we got? Political perspective?
Ah man, we got quite a few things. So first thing we have is obviously
Wait,
Trump.
hold on. James, is something you wanted to get to?
No, I was about to ISO on Reggie.
Okay. I
No
wasn't
ISO.
sure.
No ISOs on me.
All right.
But a big story is this past Sunday, a a grad student, Mahmoud Khalil, was arrested and attempted to be deported. So he was a grad student at Columbia University. And when he was approached by ICE agents, he it was told that his student visa had expired. Although he didn't even have a student visa, he has a green card. Um, and then they said, "Well, your green card is expired." And he's like, "Well, it's not expired." And they was like, "Well, fuck that. We're gonna lock you up anyway, right?" So the reason why they locked him up is there is a law that Trump is now using that was kind of created after World War II. And this law pretty much was supposed to be for Germans after World War II who were actually Nazis, but they moved to the United States in order to kind of conceal their previous kind of Nazi behavior. So this law is pretty much for anyone that the federal government deems as being anti-American, um, can be deported. So this particular student, what he did was he organized last year some of the protests on Columbia University that were in support of Palestine,
Hmm.
and the Trump administration, including Marco Rubio, pretty much said that his support for Palestine meant that he was supporting Hamas, which is the terrorist group in Palestine that on October 7th, 2 years ago, started the attack on Israel. So he's argued that he's pro-Palestinian and not pro Hamas. So that happened on Sunday, and that's kind of opened up a lot of question about what it means to be a naturalized citizen, what it means to have a student visa, what it means to have a green card, and the federal government's ability to bypass all of those things at their leisure. Not to mention he's married, which does give you some rights as a national. Um, and his wife is 8 months pregnant. So this happened on Sunday. Today, um, there was a massive protest at one of Trump's properties in New York City, where this Jewish group, um, pretty much stormed, Trump Tower in New York. And one of the charges against Khalil was that he was anti-Semitic. However, this Jewish group, and I think it was about 100 people, they stormed the Trump Tower in New York City in protest of his being arrested. So Trump on one hand and the federal government is saying that this person is anti-Jewish. However, he has a whole Jewish group, hundreds of protesters that are protesting, his release on the basis of his actual First Amendment rights to be able to assemble and also freedom of speech. So very interesting story. But also it gives you kind of like an idea of where the government is at when it pertains to how we are handling immigrants, migrants. When Trump was campaigning, it was, we're going to be going after, violent criminals. We're going to be going after these folks, and we see that when you open up kind of we open up these kind of doors that they can go anywhere, and we see that Trump and his department of his federal department, they have the ability to kind of overstep, and no one has really challenged them. So that's kind of like the big story. There was another story that I wanted to touch on, which had to do with gun rights. So there was a federal prosecutor who was fired this week because she refused to reinstate Mel Gibson's um, ability to purchase firearms.
Wait a minute.
So
The Mel Gibson?
the Mel Gibson. So the Mel Gibson had his ability to purchase firearms revoked because he had a domestic violence issue around maybe about 10 years ago.
Oh, right.
So as a function of his conviction, he's not allowed to purchase any firearms. So there are programs where, and this particular program was cited where the federal government can, pick certain people who they feel as though have paid a debt to society, and they want to they want to restore their gun rights.
Right.
So there was this study, and this federal prosecutor, she found maybe about 8 to 10 people who had not had any trouble in the law for like 20 years, and all these folks who were just common everyday citizens, and they petitioned to have their gun rights restored. So she's in the process of restoring them, and then she gets a letter that says, "Oh yeah, by the way, restore Mel Gibson's gun rights too while you at it." And
Who
she's
that
like,
came
"Well,
from?
it came from so it came from Mel Gibson's attorney,
Okay.
and it was so the petition came from Mel Gibson's attorney. However, someone in the Trump administration told her she needed to make this happen.
Right.
And what she said was, legally, he hasn't fulfilled the criteria in order for this to happen. And they say, well, you either do this or we're gonna find somebody else to do it. And they fired her, because she refused to just add him to the list of people who would have their gun rights restored. So it's kind of like a ridiculous story. Mel Gibson's in his 70s. He wanted to buy a Glock and he wasn't able to, but because he's friends with Donald Trump, he can
Right.
pretty much do whatever he wants to do. We may have you guys may have saw that Trump recently bought a new Tesla, maybe about
See that?
2 or 3 days ago. So the story behind Trump and his Tesla was that Elon Musk, Tesla sales are down throughout the world.
Mhm.
And just as a function of him being a public figure and people just not feeling him and his kind of role in the government, people have decided that they're not going to buy Teslas. Trump tweeted something to the effect of, there's an illegal boycott towards Tesla, which no boycott is illegal. But I guess in order to boost Elon Musk's sales, he bought a Tesla. It did the transaction on the front lawn of the White House, which, as you laugh, was ridiculous as it sounds.
Did he
And
pimp his ride,
ridiculous.
Reggie?
No, I wasn't pimp, but like I said, just as ridiculous as it sounds, it is absolutely ridiculous that he would use his position as president to
Hold up.
to
If you my man, right, and you in the position and I'm hurt, you not gonna buy a hoodie off me and rock my hoodie?
Make your own lane.
exactly get out. You over 18, you gotta
No.
go, bro.
See,
You gotta go, bro.
listen,
You're my
another
kid.
one of those horrible What'd you say, Reggie? Those horrible traditions in our culture. See, there you go, right there. Trump not on that. He like, I'm gonna help my man out. I'm gonna bring him in. Y'all don't like him? It's cool. Oh, your sales down, bro? I got you. And we're gonna pardon a couple of your folks while we at it. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure that's exactly how the conversation was. Exactly how it was. The last thing I want to bring up is just a proposed travel ban from people in Cuba and also Haiti. So if we remember, the first Trump travel ban really kind of centered around countries from the Middle East, or countries that had like a majority Islamic, majority Muslim population. It was very controversial, that Trump put these travel bans on these countries. He hasn't went that route, but I think it's very interesting that he would pick Cuba and also Haiti as two countries that their reasoning is they don't feel that they're saying that they don't feel as though those countries are vetting their travelers as diligently as we would want them to. Now, the Cuban population is livid.
I'm
And I think
sure
it's
they are.
interesting because, Cubans are
Be
kind of
careful.
considered the elites in
Mhm.
the Hispanic community, especially in, Southern Florida. They're considered the
Who had the
elite.
love? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because most of them, like I said, are the elites in the Hispanic diaspora, but also most of them are Trump supporters.
Oh, and
So
they identify a certain way.
absolutely, and a unfortunate or fortunate reality for them is they think that they're like them, but they're clearly not.
They not like
And and
us. They not like
and
us.
and in the words of Marlo from The Wire, you wanted to be one way, but it's the other way. And I'm gonna leave it right there for you guys.
Wow. Once again, yo, that was a great political perspective. And I love the way you ended it with the Marlowe quote. Oh man, that was awesome. Thank you.
It's
Thank
great.
you, Reggie.
So I see here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I see here we got a new segment introduced by none other than James. James, you have to explain that to us. But the segment is, what the fuck does that mean?
So Boston is legal before the show starts, right?
All
And I'm
right.
thinking of things, throughout the day or what have you. And I said to myself, you know what? There are a lot of sayings that we hear, and it's like, what the fuck does that really mean? Right? So I mean, and there are some sayings that we all know, right? That do make sense. Pretty much they are self-explanatory. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all I gotta do is stay black and die. We understand what that means. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all right. God don't like ugly. Okay. We definitely know what that means. That
Mm-hmm.
ain't God love Reggie because Reggie beautiful. Okay.
Right.
All right.
For the past 2 weeks.
Come on for the past 2 weeks. All right. Is your daddy a glass maker? Get your ass from the front of the TV. We know what that means, right? Takes one to know one. Another one. Now, what the hell do I look like Boo Boo the Fool? Who the fuck is Boo Boo the Fool? Who is that? Who is that? And what does Boo Boo look like? Right? I never understood that one. You know what I'm saying? I got another one for you. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
That's a lyric, so that might be.
But
That's
people
a lyric.
say it like, how the fuck I'm getting $1 out of 15 cents? Ain't that 15 no more? You know what I'm saying? I can't buy enough for 15 cents and flip that. Lucy's don't even cost 15 cents. All right.
It
I
does
got
have to
one.
be updated for
Go ahead.
inflation.
What you
I
got,
got
Reggie?
one. Back in the day, we used to say, Don't go out like Willie Lump Lump.
I wasn't even going. That's the go right. Who the fuck is Willie Lump Lump? Him and Boo Boo the Fool, they somewhere together. But listen, like Reggie said, you definitely don't want to go out like Willie Lump Lump. All right, I don't know who that is, but you don't want that. All right, I got one more for y'all. What? Give me two more. So the one is, I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out. What the fuck?
That's Cosby, right?
Right. What does that mean? You brought me into this world. First of all, Cosby, you the dad, so you didn't bring nobody into this world. But are you saying because you my father, you gonna kill me? If you choose to, like you got the right to take me out. Yo, parents was bugging back in the day. All right. Last one for y'all. And some of y'all might know this one. Bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. What the fuck does that mean? What does two in the bush got to do with the bird in my hand? Does that mean because it's in my hand and the two in the bush over there? Like,
so I got a story.
Okay.
I got a story. And it involves little Johnny. Right? So little Johnny is in class.
Mm-hmm.
And his teacher asked him, if you have 3 birds on a fence and you shoot one of the birds, how many birds are left? Little Johnny says, if you shoot one of the birds, the other 2 are going to fly away. So there's none left. Right? So the teacher said, that's not the right answer, but I like how you think. Right? So little Johnny asked the teacher a question. So little Johnny asked the teacher, he said, you have 3 women at an ice cream parlor. One is licking the ice cream, one is kissing the ice cream, and one is sucking the ice cream. Which one is married? So the teacher said, the one that's sucking the ice cream. And little Johnny says, no, it's the one with the wedding ring. But I like how you think.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Shout out to little Johnny.
Shout out to little Johnny. I like the way you think, little Johnny.
I'm gonna tell you this: if my teacher would have called my mom and said I said that joke, I would have been Willie Lump Lump, nigga. What the fuck you talking about?
She would have said, "What you think? I'm Boo Boo the Fool, nigga?"
Right, exactly. Like, what? Nah, I was talking about Johnny. Oh, that's a good one.
That's good.
Listen,
that's a good one.
So let me ask you, Reggie, did you watch the season finale of Paradise?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Okay.
I did. Yes, I did. Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did.
Shout out
to y'all. Shout out to y'all for not playing the spoiler game more. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
Well, shout out to B for realizing to ask that question. Like, wait a minute, Reggie. I heard you say you watched it Saturday. Did you watch it? No, I didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your thought.
So my thoughts was it's a bad thought, but where the fuck he going in the plane though?
He going to Atlanta. Right.
Okay. Where you fueling at? He just
that's TV magic.
You know what? I like
TV.
I like the way you think, Reggie. Those are important questions. One, because if you think that your wife is still alive, you don't think she's still in Atlanta, do you?
Well, it would depend on what the time stamp was with that message, right?
They've been there 3 years now.
Right.
So but when Sinatra had the recording, when was that recording made?
Yeah.
Is she saying, we're survivors, we here, it's from last week, or it's from 3 years ago? That would be the general question.
Reggie, would you have given Sinatra at least a leg shot.
James won't let this go. James, she got shot. Like we.
I mean, yeah, but like when she told him, I'm sorry. This is not how I planned.
Right. It was
First
for
thing
the.
in his mind was probably, I should have shot you then. I knew it.
But the
Yeah.
guards were there. He knew he couldn't make a move.
But remember, he did the swift shit and knocked all them
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
He
Oh, you
had that
saying
in him
after?
then.
You talk
He
about
had that
after
in
that?
him
He
then.
still
Yeah.
should have shot it.
Yeah, he should have shot. Listen, if you shoot the guard, you gotta shoot her. The guards they
Okay.
just doing their job.
I
He a
asked Brandon
mastermind.
this too. Does Jane fucking scare you?
Yes. Absolutely.
She's fucking scary.
Absolutely.
She the scariest one.
Yeah, Jane is psychopath.
Because like I tried, we were talking in our group chat and I was like, when did she decide to shift gears? Was it the we? When she was like, no, you not getting the fucking we, fuck out of here. And she was like, oh, all right, this conversation over, click. Then she was like, you know what? I'm not gonna kill Presley. Or was she always on that type time?
So how I looked at it was she had the shoot Sinatra. And I'll tell you why. Because Sinatra has too much information on her.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she could have easily been manipulated. So yeah, so she kind of saves herself in that.
She definitely did. She did.
She definitely saved herself.
But if you my man, after you get over the fact that your daughter cool or whatever and like reality set back in, how you not thinking to yourself, we thought Jane was a fucking noodle. Jane pulled out the super sniper move and just shot her. Jane, yo, stay with me. Wherever I'm at, Jane, I need all eyes on you because you something else. Because remember him and the girl Robinson was talking about him like, yeah, Jane a fucking noodle. She ain't doing nothing. Yeah, Jane is really the big bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jane's character remind me of a scene in The Devil's Advocate where Al Pacino is talking about sleeping with women and how one of the ways that he does it is they never see him coming.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jane, that's what makes her character scary is you won't see her coming. Which is going to be a problem for Collins.
You damn right.
Because now that trust and bond is, I shot Sinatra. I saved your daughter. Is that gonna affect how he moves?
As long as he got her with all the new Wii games, he Gucci. You know what I mean? All the Wii shit.
But no, shout out to Paradise. Paradise was well done. It was well done. The concepts behind it was well done. It was, when we see these kind of apocalyptic shows, you always think like, what's going to be the new kind of way the world falls apart, and the weather related catastrophe was mad interesting.
Yeah,
like and almost a little too real.
You already know. Hold up, Reggie. Hold that point for 1 second. Listen, we are coming to the end of our live broadcast. We appreciate you all. Make sure you tune in, like, subscribe, check the episodes out that you missed on all podcast platforms. And yeah, we about to go over a little bit, so y'all gonna have to catch that on the next go round. From me, B, and Reggie, we appreciate you all and we thank you. You know what I mean? And as always, everything is TBD. Go ahead, Reggie.
See you on the other side. But yeah, like that's way too real. That a weather-related catastrophe
Hmm.
will lead to nuclear war
Yeah.
because countries are now fighting for scarce resources because this shit about to go down.
And
And
they
I mean,
already
even
playing with the weather. You know
yeah,
that.
I mean, listen, if they're not artificially playing with the weather, they are we as a world is playing with the weather.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they said it's polar ice caps the size of Texas
Yeah.
that's broken off. That's bananas, right? That's
Very scary.
bananas. And just that scenario of countries fighting for natural resources and these nuclear weapons. If anybody's watched Oppenheimer, I mean,
I didn't see
that
that.
was that's an excellent movie. Excellent movie.
It's on
Excellent,
my list of
excellent
movies
movie.
to watch.
Mel always talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, excellent movie. But I mean, the world has only seen two nuclear explosions, and that was 60. Whoa,
Mm.
I'm sorry, 80 years ago.
Right.
They have hydrogen bombs that can level cities.
Right.
Yeah.
So um, there are tens of thousands of them.
Yeah. It's
Like when
way
you think
different
about,
now.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
tens of thousands of them. I think the United States has the biggest stockpile of nuclear weapons, and it's like
Weapons of mass
10,000 or something
destruction.
like that. Not, I mean, I think they're in the category of mass destruction, but like nuclear, atomic bomb, they're like in categories all by themselves because of the type of destruction that they cause. But
Yeah.
the United States have the biggest nuclear stockpile in the world, and we like in theory disarmed a lot of our nuclear weapons, and we still have like 10,000. Why we need 10,000? I mean, but the only reason why we have 10,000 is because
Did we
China
take
has
some?
8,000.
Mm.
No, so it's China has 8,000, Russia has 7,000. So you don't want to be in a position where you don't have
China
enough
got
to defend yourself.
Listen, China got Wuhan though. I don't think we was ready for that. Wuhan, they got us right real quick for a few years.
Did they?
Speaking of that, that leads perfectly into my top five. This is a pretty
Oh
sick top
yeah.
five. This is a pretty sick top
Hmm.
five, and I don't even remember what made me come
He
up with
always
this.
love to put us on the spot. So
It
Freestyle.
is.
You got it from the
I'm gonna
freestyle. I
go.
like it.
I'm gonna go first because, of course, I'm putting
okay.
you on the spot. So I thought of, again, sick being the operative word. What
Uh-oh.
is your top five minor injuries, illnesses, or sicknesses? Top five most annoying. Which
Oh,
one
I
do
already know
you
the first
get and
one.
you just like, God damn it? Let me go first.
Go
Number one, you wake up with a stiff neck. Why the fuck is that a thing?
Because you slept wrong.
You slept wrong and your neck is stiff. Why is this
Or,
a thing?
or the window was open.
Why? Yeah, why does this exist? And it's always on the worst possible day. You could be, I'm going to have a orgy with Holly Berry, and now my neck is stiff. Like I can't. Like what is that? Number one for me. Number two, this one terrifies me. Whenever I hear people have this, I immediately get scared. A stomach virus. I don't ever get the stomach virus where you throw up. I
Me
never get
neither.
that one. I get the one, I'm the other one. So I hate that the fucking worst. Stomach virus, the worst. Number three, leg cramp. Really?
God damn, that was on my list,
Old
yo.
school Charlie horse.
A Charlie horse, a leg cramp?
which
And
also can happen when you about to have an orgy with Halle Berry.
no, that happens mid
During.
joint. It's
Oh,
like
you're right,
that's the
right.
most common time you get it. It's ridiculous. Eat your bananas and stay hydrated. But whatever, whatever. Um, Number 4, you stub your toe on some goofy shit. Your pinky to like between the pinky toe and the toe next to the pinky toe, like right in that crack.
Bro, listen. I am bad when it comes to like walking and my feet and shit like that, right? And I am notorious for kicking the fucking joint on the bed every time with my
Every
big
time.
toe or my pinky toe. Now, you would think by now I would know to get around. My wife was sitting on the bed, man. One night I hit it twice.
Go
And
homicide.
I'm older. I'm older and I'm more tender. Pause. So
Right.
I was bitching.
Yeah. And number 5 for me, pink eye.
Oh
Because you're too
God.
old at this, like,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
pink eye. It's like you got it's like a thing. Like it's you gotta get the drops for it. It's like it don't just not one of them things that'll go away in a timely fashion. You just got pink eye. I had pink eye in both eyes, like a doof one time. I
Damn.
I had it in
Damn.
one eye and rubbed the other eye. I went to the
Oh.
damn doctor. They was like, nigga, what were you doing? Ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Hilarious.
Anyway, that's my top 5.
What a
Hopefully that
time.
gave y'all time to came up with something.
Yeah, I got
Reggie, go ahead. What you
I
got?
got a couple. So the first one, this is in no particular order, but the first one is an old-fashioned splinter.
Oh.
Mm.
Like trying to get it out. You want to try to find tweezers, and you never really think you got it all.
Hmm.
So now you fucking with it for days, like an
Hmm.
old fashioned splinter, like coming down an old wood banister or something like that. You walking on some old wood floors, and oh man, it's the
Go
worst.
give me
It's
a
the worst.
safety pin and burn it.
Right.
Exactly. Number 2 is to burn your tongue on something hot.
Oh my God.
You really want this coffee in the morning, and you take that one sip, and now your tongue feels weird for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Like
Nah,
for
that's a
the
fact.
next 3 days. Um, the next one is the hit your funny bone.
Mm, that shit ain't funny.
Hit your funny
It's
bone
not
is
funny.
not funny at all. At all. That's 3. My honorable mention is come home. You take a shower, and it may have been a while. So you look at your lady, she's looking real nice. You think you about to get some, and she say, I got a headache.
So,
You
so
know it's
Reggie's
a wrap.
honorable mention is the woman headache. Happy Women's History Month.
Right.
This kills everything. I got a head. You know what? I got a headache too. That's my 3 and honorable mention.
That's a good
Ah,
one.
all right. No particular order. My first ailment is the kick in the nuts. All right.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that's
Hopefully
number
that's
From
one.
not happening that many
from
times.
well, from little kids, when
The
you got
baby.
little ones, right? You playing,
Yeah.
they might hit you there, they might throw the ball there.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Whoa. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That should probably be number 1, like for all men.
It's yeah, no, fact. Facts. You know
Um,
why? You know why? Because I said minor and annoying, and that one might lead to a death. It's like major. I feel like I need major surgery after that. Like, what are you doing?
well, after you get yourself together, it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
all
But no,
right.
that's a dope one.
In line with Reggie's splinter, the paper cut,
Ooh.
the super thin joint.
Yeah.
My God, that's why there's a torture called "Death of 1,000 Paper Cuts."
Yeah.
My God. You talking
Sound
about?
crazy.
Listen, you talk about. I think I'm a girl. Oh, shit! Why did you
Paper cut.
drawing? Okay. But see, B talked about the cramp because cramp was definitely on my list. There has been times I've been in the bed sleep, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, oh yeah, and I get
Yeah.
up. Oh my God, why? And I start to walk around. You know, you try to walk that joint
Yeah.
out. That
Yeah.
joint
Walk it out.
still hurting. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. My wife, babe, what's wrong? I got a cramp. I got a cramp. Oh my God. Next one is the flu. Now, I think flu in line with like the stomach virus because I've had the flu and had the throw ups. Just that whole ordeal
Yeah.
is sucky. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a really get sick bull, but when I got it on the one day, oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm a band for real, y'all. The cover's all the way up to my nose. I'm nippy, like give me all. I'm sweating. I take this shit off. Then I get cold as shit again. It is it is just so horrible. All right. And then I think my last one is actually a head cold. Your nose all sniffled up and shit. You got snot all in your
Yeah.
nose. You gotta blow it every day. People looking at you and shit like,
Don't blow
"Ew."
it every day, James.
I mean, pause. Yeah. Right.
Whoa.
That was a good
Whoa.
one. Pause. Super duper pause. You definitely don't want to blow it every day, okay? But pause. But you know what I'm saying? Your nose be all stuffed up. You can't smell. You can't taste. Your head feeling some type of way. You just in a. It's like 1,000 Mondays all in one, just happening in your head and shit. You know what I mean? It's horrible. Honorable mention. Goddamn toothache. Lord
Oh,
have mercy.
yeah.
Yo, I
No.
had that right there.
Listen, I
I'm
still
gonna
have
mention it.
Advils from B when I had my toothache. B was feeding me ibuprofens on the low. You know what I mean? He was my dealer.
Listen, my mom, shout out to Miss Ann. My mom
Shout out
says
Miss Ann.
toothache is worse than labor.
Damn.
Like a bad toothache,
Jones, terrible.
nothing you could do. Nothing you could do. All them
Actually,
Advils.
you can put a little Miami Vice on it.
Yeah.
I
Shout out
heard
to
that.
Miami Vice.
I heard that.
James, did I ever tell you where I was getting those ibuprofens from?
No, they was like
So
800 Jones too.
so let me tell you this. This is the funniest shit of all time. Well, it's not, but it's crazy. Um, at my job, there used to be a lady who worked there. I ain't even gonna say her name because I don't even know. My kid. So when I first started working there, and I had a headache.
Mhm,
So I asked around, yo, anybody got an Advil, blah, blah, blah. They told me to go see this lady.
mhm.
Go over to the lady's desk. Hey, Miss such and such, can I have an Advil or do you have anything for a headache?
Mhm.
Now, mind you, she like turned her shoulder and looked me up and down,
Like
and
who the fuck accent?
she goes, all right, I'll bring it to your desk. which is strange. Like, okay, I just asked for an Advil, but all right, cool. She'll bring it to my desk. 5 to 10 minutes later, she comes over with a pill bottle full of Motrin or of ibuprofen 800 milligrams wrapped in a paper towel, and she handed to me on the low like it was a deal. Like she was
Was she an
pushing.
old head?
Of course she was.
Yes.
She handed them Jones to me on like a low type, yo. Don't tell nobody about this shit here, nigga. Like this, that shit.
Put your hand
She-
out. Put your hand out.
but no one coached me, so I was confused. I'm like, do I keep the whole bot? Like, what is it? Like, do I take
Am I
one
supposed
and
to
bring
get
it
his
back?
bag?
I ended up keeping them, which apparently was the right thing to do. And this happened multiple times. I've gotten multiple pill bottle fulls of Motrin or ibuprofen 800s from this lady. Shout out
Oh,
to
she
her.
got perks?
I don't
My
know.
bad.
She
Never
don't
mind.
work there no more. I don't know where right
I'm sure
exactly.
she don't.
Oh
You know what I
man.
mean? That's the best hustle around, yo. Listen, B
Yeah.
used to give me the Jones and sandwich bag. Like, I got you. I'm gonna bring these Jones around. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Shout out to her. Gift to keep, so given.
Oh man. Well, listen, man. We've come to the end of another episode, fellas. Any closing thoughts or remarks?
Yeah, just one real quick. We ain't talk about it. It could have been a topic, but uh that girl, track star who clobbered that girl running,
It's not funny. I'm sorry.
cut the shit. Cut the shit. All right. With the I was stumbling and I lost my balance. Cut the shit.
Doop, 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 doop.
Right.
All up your back too. While I was
Right. Right.
don't fall in front. Listen, be careful. I might fall behind you and put you upside your head.
Right, exactly.
Listen, man, the jokes on that is just ridiculous, man. They talking about they gonna have to start making the batons out of styrofoam. Like, it's so many jokes about that, man. It's ridiculous, man. Talking about it ain't track and field, it's attack and field. Like,
Yeah.
it's messed up. Um, Unfortunately, in sporting event, there is something called unsportsmanlike behavior.
Yeah.
And we saw it when we was young. We saw Tanya Harding. We saw
We
like
definitely
we
did.
definitely did, you know. So that's just
Ended
wild,
Nancy
man.
Kerrigan's career.
Yeah, that's wild. Like
And then they did a
that would have been a
story about it.
viral. That would have been, we
Yeah.
talked about viral moments. That would have been a
Absolutely.
viral one. Yes.
You know what else,
Absolutely.
Reggie? The Lorena Bobbitt shit would have been viral along with it.
Oh my
Oh, Black
oh
Twitter would have
Lord.
had a field day with
Oh
that
my
joint.
God.
Oh man.
Any closing words, Reggie? Or thoughts?
What I so we didn't really get a chance to do this, but I know we wanted to highlight a woman during Women's History Month. I wanted to highlight Shirley Chisholm, who was the first woman of a major political party to get nominated for president. If anybody's interested in her life story, there is a movie out about her.
Oh, yeah.
She was just a great historical figure. Interesting glasses. She's known for her glasses, but one of those pioneers of independent woman, independent Black woman. So I just wanted to highlight her and just her contribution to showing what our Black women can do politically, and what we can do as an overall group if we come together. So shout out to Shirley Chisholm.
Shout out to Shirley Chisholm.
Right.
I guess on the flip side of that, Shout out Corinne Steffens. All right. I'm gonna leave it at
All
that.
right, this episode was great. It was a great episode.
We appreciate y'all. Just know your next move might be your best move. All right.
Wait. I do got one. I do got
What?
one. And we almost keep forgetting this, but you just made me think about this with
Mhm.
Corinne Steffens. Our Dubby promotion.
Well, Reggie,
Because you definitely would not be on Gummy. Corinne Steffens. I don't care however you heard it today.
well,
Yeah.
it's funny that you brought that up, Reggie, because actually I recorded that prior to the video starting. So once this is over, I will see if it came out the way it was supposed to. Like it actually, when it did the countdown, the video will play before our actual John. So
Okay. Excellent.
So we'll see how that works. If it doesn't, I'll just have to do it during the show. But I just figured record a little intro video with the W promo so we don't have to say it. But like you said, Reggie, if you don't want to be on Gummy, get your W, man. And with that being said, we appreciate y'all from the bottom of our hearts. As always, my brothers, Reggie, Brandon, I am James. We appreciate y'all, man. We can't say it enough, man. But, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And you know what it is. It's all TBD,
Peace.
baby.
Yep.